right, welcome in everybody this Thursday afternoon. So you know that means it's another episode of Line Breakers FC brought to you by thebreakdownsports.com. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So hit us up in the comments with your best bet, your favorite player of the weekend, or if there's a match that we're not going to cover or one that you want us to cover, we'll get into it. Joey B, AJ, usual partners in crime. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
Can't complain. Excited for our Super League episode. Didn't age well, but I think for the best. But excited for some good soccer action this weekend.
Yeah, I guess quick thoughts. We can do it on it because that Super League episode was a lot of fun. We got to bring in some cool guests, made some new friends on that. So it's always good to connect with other people on the Twitter sphere. But was that just the biggest money grab move? Just saying, like, we know you have money in your back pocket. We're going to get it out of you. But you can just go on a whole side saga. We could do a whole episode, bring Robbie B back in and talk about Real Madrid because I don't know what the hell Florentino is doing right now. Because he was seeming like pretty hype and backing him more than how the rest of us were like, our owners are like, we could care less, get rid of him. AJ was celebrating a firing. But yeah, it hasn't been aging well for him, Florentino, right now. So
I could just give you a heads up in the group chat. He is in shambles right now over Perez and everything like that. But yeah, like you said, whatever this did, it got more money out of UEFA. So I guess somehow, some way, the teams win a little bit out of this.
Yeah, I think I saw they may have changed rules. Like teams with the highest coefficients who didn't qualify are going to get an extra spot. So like if West Ham gets fourth and Man U gets fifth, for example, Man U would get in above West Ham because their coefficient is stronger. I think up in the air whether it's good or not, but I think it kind of solved that issue of the certainty of them getting the Champions League. But I don't know. I think hopefully it starts a conversation and maybe leads to other ideas of what other like super leagues could exist. Because I do think like international basketball does something similar. They do their domestic league and then like an international competition of sorts. I think having more of a league structure than just like a tournament group stage, I think I'd be a fan of. And I think they already kind of are moving that way with like the Swiss model or whatnot.
all right, so no plays for us from Monday or the midweek, so our best bets will be coming up on the end. We got games Friday through Monday. I don't think any of us have Monday action, so all of our action will be coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to preview 5 matches real quick. We have bets on 2 of them here, so we'll sit out those real quick to save those and previews up for the best bets. So we got to get into the afternoon action that you'll be watching tomorrow during work in the Premier League. You got Arsenal as home favorites, which just seems a little strange to me, sitting right around the even price. You got Everton, who seems to be getting back to full health, sitting at plus 275 dogs. And then you got a juiced under 2.5 here. You can get the plus Asian handicap goal or half goal for Everton at minus 130. That's real juicy, but that seems to be a good play there. Coming from a total perspective, you just got to hope Everton covers that by themselves if you want goals in that game. Just because if you look on Flash Score, if you look at the injury reports, it's very limited depth right now with the injuries that Arsenal's coming into it. So Joey B's favorite, pass around the back. Everton, they're going to try to have possession more. They might not like it that much, but I always have a soft spot for Everton because they got the only Italian manager there. But AJ, Arsenal, I'm almost there. I've been calculating the points Arsenal needs to basically win out right now for me not to win the season-long bet. What's your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, it's going to be their first match since the Super League kind of crashed and unfolded. We saw Liverpool drew. I believe Chelsea drew as well on that day. So it'll be interesting to see the star players. You have Lacazette's out, Aubameyang's out. So I do have to lean Everton on this, but Everton haven't won a game in their last 6 matches. So not much momentum going into this one. Joey B?
Yeah, I mean, that momentum can quickly change. But yeah, I just think for me, I know I'm not an unders better like AJ, but this one just screams dull, boring, and no scoring. It's a good one there. But Yeah, I just think it's going to be probably a low-scoring game. Everton may get one or two chances here or there, but I don't know. If Martinelli plays for Arsenal, I think he's a strong attacker, so he could turn out well for them.
Yeah, let's I'll get more into this one because I'm the one who does have a best bet in this one. Don't want to spoil it too much because I might have some choice words coming up for this one. And our next match, I lied. I have a bet in this one as well. West Ham versus Chelsea. I mean, there's always ways to bet, and maybe not the best way. Sometimes I like to think it's profitable more than not. I like to bet on the matches that I'm going to watch because that's the one I'm going to dig deeper into and enjoy more. So this is where you got West Ham versus Chelsea, which is arguably my 2 or 3 favorite clubs in there. The Wolvies are up there, but West Ham and Chelsea are up there as well. But yeah, West Ham has plus 363 home dogs. Oh, that's a huge price there. Chelsea minus 128. They do have Champions League coming up midweek. They didn't say that they're pushing it, so I think since it's disbanded and there's no news today because that's when they said they were going to do it, it seems that Chelsea's match will be on for next week. Maybe that changes and the line moves, but with Tuchel at the helm, you're going to get a juiced under 2.5. This one's sitting at minus 125. The Asian handicap looks like the smart way to play in this one as well, just because Chelsea did play the match since and they did look pretty fresh coming out there. But with West Ham in their form, they're really fighting for that title spot or the Champions League spot for next season. And that's just where they're tied on points. This is a huge 6-pointer here. There's like 6 matches left after this one. This is why if you have no horse in the stake or just want to watch a good match, this one should probably be end to end.
Yeah, for me, the more you talk, the more you lean me into a West Ham pick, especially with the weird sandwich spot with Chelsea's looming Champions League. Like me personally, I completely forgot about the Champions League after this whole last week, so that wasn't even on my mind. I do have a play on the total that I'll save for later, but I do think West Ham make this competitive and a good match.
Yeah, I could see. I think a draw definitely could be on the cards, maybe 2-2, possibly 1-1. But yeah, I wouldn't want to back Chelsea. It's just so hard to back a team that has Champions League coming up or had it behind them or will have it behind them. But yeah, it's a high number on West Ham for as well as they're playing, as well as they are playing. Kind of intriguing. I wouldn't call it a trap or anything, but I think the number is just a little bit too big on the Mighty Hammers.
So both score lines you gave out, Joey, we were 1-1, 2-2. That seems to say you like both teams to score here, and with a juiced under 2.5, the odds for both teams to score is sitting around even to minus 110 on which book. I know you're recently burned by a Chelsea both teams to score bet. I believe it was with Porto. So if you had to bet it this weekend, even if it's just Taco Bell money, you seem pretty confident in your both teams to score. Would you do it?
Yeah, I won't add it to my card officially, maybe put it on a half unit. But yeah, I just think Chelsea's defense obviously has that aura to it with Tuchel, but West Ham, super strong side, pretty decent attacking. A lot of their games seem to have both teams to score just kind of off the top of my head. But yeah, it's just a matter if West Ham can get one, and I really do think Chelsea would get one. So yeah, I could see this game being 1-1 or 2-1, somewhere in there.
Yep. So AJ, since you got the total thoughts there, we'll save that for later. Plus, we'll get more into in best bets. Seems like all the Premier League 3 high class matches. AJ has a bet on this one with Leeds hosting United, who was also in a sandwich spot with Europa League on Thursday. You got Leeds at plus 294 dogs. So if you like backing home dogs in the Premier League this weekend, you sure got a bunch of options. So some people in college football throw that in a round robin just blindly with the limited slate. And if you get 3 of the 5 to hit, you're walking away with some plus money. God forbid you go 5 for 5. You're having a hell of a time. But Leeds at plus 294, United as minus 115 to minus 120 road favorites. You got the over 3 here with the juice minus 120. So this is where the angle that I like is the home the home dog with the away team with minus more than minus 110. It's always good to bet that over 2.5. But here it looks like I'll have to wait to get it live, which seems like recently in the Premier League you get a few goals within the first 5 to 10 minutes, but it seems like it's been down more than not. So kind of waiting it out. I feel like the over will burn you maybe once or twice, and you'll remember that more often than not, which definitely happens for me. So that's kind of where for this one, I just got to stick to the gut, hope it gets to the 15-minute mark and a team hasn't scored. But Leeds with the sandwich spot, because if I really wanted to, I think that might be the best angle if you want to do a fun round-robin dog is in the Champions League and Europa League, just throw them all in there. That would be the way to do it, and Leeds would have to be included. So in this match, I got no action, but I would definitely have to lean Leeds at the Asian handicap of the plus half goal.
Yeah, that's not a bad angle. When I was looking over this match, I had 2 plays on this, scratched both of them, because that's just what happens when you overthink things. Initially, leaned United money line minus 120. Seemed too simple, so stayed off. But my other stronger play that I almost did pull the trigger on was the under 3. Leeds at home, one of the better defensive teams, and we all know how United could easily just park the bus for a 1-0, 2-0 win. But my only fear in that one is the first time they played, I think it was like 4-2 or 5-2 by like halftime, something ridiculous. United's counterattack plus Leeds pressing does not make for a good under. So overall, stayed off in this match. But Joey B, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think, maybe I just am expecting goals in the EPL this week, but I think both teams to score and over 2.5 is kind of the way I'd go. It's at minus 120. You can probably find a better price around there because both teams to score is minus 180 and over 2.5 is minus 160. I do think both teams score again here, but it just is hard to bet on an EPL total and then another total with Man U. We don't know if they're going to come out aggressive with the Champions League coming out. So, like AJ said, they can really just lock it up and get a 1-0 win here. But with the Leeds pressing, this game it's either going to end 0-0 with like a XG of like a combined XG of like 4 or 5, or it'll be like 3-2 or something like that. So, who knows? But that's just the way I'd lean here.
See, my biggest reason why I like Leeds in this one is, yes, United has to still play the Premier League, but they're kind of locked up into that 2 spot. Sure, they don't want to let Leicester jump them by any means, but they still have 7 points to mess with there. So that's kind of where, AJ, when's the last time United got a trophy?
Like Europa League, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
I might be coming back if they don't spoil them. So I'm not including them in a parlay coming up. I will guarantee that because this is the exact stage they burned me last time. But I think, coming up, they definitely have eyes focused on Europa. But can Leeds keep up the momentum? Because they're due for a letdown spot because they just pulled out a nice midweek draw. So that's kind of where, or do they?
Did he freeze for I guess we can move on to Lazio. Or did you have any other thoughts on Leeds Man U?
Not really, just that since the Europa League or Super League did crash, like I said, Chelsea drew, Liverpool drew. This will be United's first match. I don't know if that's an angle worth capping or anything worth notable, but it just seems it is what it is. But anything else in the EPL you would like to discuss?
No, Wolves Burnley. That's maybe one of the most boring games of all time. But no, I think that's it. But yeah, I think do you want to get into the Serie? I think we have one game to chat about.
Perfect. And I know Rex is going to have an opinion on that, so I'll give you first licks on this one. It's Lazio taking on Milan. Take it away.
Lazio played Napoli today, and I think they lost 5-2. And I'm trying to pull up the Serie A table. I think I'm about to sneeze too. This is really going off the rails real quick.
Napoli won 5-2 against Lazio today.
Yeah, so I mean, Lazio's 5 points from 5th. So this game is, I would say, close to a must-win for them. Especially, even Milan. I guess they're 10 points back inner, so it could be a must-win there. I don't know. I think this game, I don't have too much of an opinion on it. Let me see if I can pull up the odds real quick. I clicked off of Italy to get to England. But I would imagine
it looks like
Milan
AC Milan plus 195.
Oh, yeah. Dang, I thought they'd be slightly favored. Wow. I would go AC Milan, just draw double chance right off the cuff. I didn't look at injuries, didn't look at much there. But, yeah, I think AC Milan may be the right play, but Lazio does need the win. Who knows what would happen.
Perfect.
That's good.
Yeah, we were just discussing Lazio, AC Milan. We're both surprised that AC Milan are such heavy underdogs. Maybe you could enlighten us on that one.
Because they fucking stink now. I don't know. It's the offense. What was keeping them up and what we talked about many times on Linebreaker FC is Rebic. He was on that fucking tear for a while, and that was out of his mind, and he was playing great. Zlatan, they just signed to another 1-year deal at 39 years old. Sure, he's still showing up from some matches and showing his class, but, I mean, they've won 3 of their past 5, so they're not in that much terrible form, but they did lose to Sassuolo. Maybe that's the Super League drama there, but yeah, they've been dropping more points recently than not, but you've had Atalanta who's just been on a tear right now, and being to Lazio, who especially just got spanked today, 5-2 to Napoli, we could potentially see this line drop. So if you want to get on Milan now, this might be your best time. The books obviously might have adjusted by now, but not all the public have realized this and loaded up Flash Score yet. So if you want to get on Milan, now seems to be the best time.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it's also pretty crazy how they lost to Sassuolo 1-0 up most of the game, and then just 2 goals late in the game back-to-back kind of came. I didn't watch it, but it just Flash Score notifications came out of nowhere.
It was a great match. The first half was kind of a snoozer because Milan controlled it, but then I don't know what De Zerbi did in the locker room, but I don't know how much longer he's going to be lasting at Sassuolo because that dude is just – he's a great in-game manager. That was a great halftime adjustments he made, and he was the guy who was threatening of sitting out the game because of the Super League. So he definitely had some type of motivational factor in there to hype the guys up to bag 2 of them against Milan. All right, Bundesliga. Let's stay in Europe.
The only thing I think Bayern win this weekend. I think they're playing Mainz. If they win, they officially wrap up the title. I don't have odds on them in front of me, but I would imagine like minus 400, minus 350 is what I see. So pretty close. The other good game to watch is Wolfsburg Dortmund. Really important Champions League, Europa League spot implications. Should be a really good game. But yeah, other than that, kind of a weird slate. Leverkusen Frankfurt, but. Big news of the weekend will be if Bayern can wrap up the title.
Yeah, minus 323. Yeah. It's not fun getting in front of the Bayern train.
Yeah.
Would not recommend.
Yeah. And I think Lewandowski's coming back for a half or some time this week, so he's probably going to get a hat trick and go sit down when he's subbed off.
All right. Do we get to talk MLS? I know AJ's going to put on his earmuffs or be upset about it, even though he lives probably in the best MLS market there possibly is. It's a shame, especially because it was a great match. Should definitely try to get tickets for that because, one, before we just get into matchups, it was Orlando, Miami, and I forget which other stadium. It just looked like it was at full capacity. Maybe it was just the supporters sections they were showing, but boy, oh boy, where in Europe we still haven't seen any fans back. MLS is not going full throttle in most stadiums. The Union's at 25%. Most of them are at 25%, but the teams are a little bit more down south are more lenient. And Miami, it was their home opener, the first game in the new stadium, so it's expected, but that looked like a great party.
Yeah, I'll just say I think Joey B mentioned that, but I saw some Twitter pictures and like you said, they're ready to go. But MLS, not my favorite league, but I know you guys love and enjoy it, so you guys can have your little MLS time.
I would say it's definitely growing on me, especially this summer when there's not going to be domestic league action going on and just some international. I'll definitely tune in. But yeah, I mean, also I think was it the Inter game you were betting on, Rex, and LA Galaxy got the win as like a plus 300 underdog too.
Yeah, I took them Asian handicap. Should have took a money line, but that was a great game just as a casual fan to watch.
Yeah, it was,
and then I'm still trying my best to make you become a Nashville supporter. Not trying to put the flag on you behind me into you. I'm letting you pick the team from your town and just trying to get you into it because that game was ended up being Nashville put up 3.93 XG in that game, and it was their second highest in club history, and that includes US League One. So that's just kind of where that draw that they had was kind of wild because they just slept walk through the beginning of that game. And yes, my fantasy team's doing awesome in MLS, but let's get into the match of the weekend with LAFC versus Seattle. I do have 3 bets on the MLS, but this is the top match of the weekend where you need to be watching it. It's going to be – AJ, I had 4 last weekend, so just because you sat out, it's back, baby. It's going to be a good time. You've missed it. It's plus money only MLS Rex this season. But the LAFC Seattle game, that's where you got your top 2 teams in the West. LAFC is a minus 121 home favorite. That should work out maybe well if they don't sub Vela off by accident like they did last game in the 22nd mark. You got Seattle plus 300 away dogs. After putting up 4 at home against Minnesota, sure, Seattle does have the best home field, but you just put up 4-0. Yes, MLS home field advantage is a real thing because unlike Europe, they actually have to travel. It kind of sucks too for the MLS travel. But yeah, at plus 300 dogs, and you can get them on the Asian handicap at minus 105. Going against LAFC isn't fun, but last season, I mean, Vela was a little iffy, so that's where it was a little bit all right to go against them. But you're going to give me probably the top team in the West in Seattle at that price. Twist my arm, I have to do it, but this is one I just rather watch live because I like 3 other plays better. But total over 3.5 at plus 105. This matchup has usually brought goals. You got both of these defenders is extremely shaky. The attacks are the best part of it because you got Vela, Rui Diaz going up. I don't think Rossi's returning, but they got Baird and other good attackers up there for LAFC. So, yeah, 6 p.m. on Saturday, you got to watch it.
Yeah, I will definitely tune in. I think it's going to be a good. Does MLS usually just stack all their games on Saturday? That's the only kind of downside. It seems they put up so many of them on Saturday. I like how Europe kind of alternates through the weekends a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of leave off Sundays pretty hard. They'll put their 2 or 3 matchups on Sunday, but unlike Serie A, they do have you like the tasting menu at the 1. They have a 1, a 2, a 3, 3:30, 6, and then they have 4 that start at 8, and then they have a 9 and a 10:30. So you can go all day Saturday just watching MLS.
Yeah, I think that's a good selling point. And then on this game, I don't have too many thoughts. Like Rex said, this I think matchup usually leads to goals. Both offenses are pretty strong, but I looked at both teams to score over 2.5. It's at like minus 160, and just for fun, just throw in like a first half over 0.5 goals, minus 132. Really juicy, really boring, but I think it's actually a good way to attack this game. Even though some MLS games are slow to start, but if I were betting on this game, I would just bet for some goals and some action. I think that's the best way I'd do that.
Yeah, the way I would do it is if you really had to, take the Seattle money line and just pray they would score first because then you can get some – it won't be that good, but then you can get plus money on both sides. AJ, are you LAFC or Galaxy?
Galaxy.
Ooh.
Any reasoning?
He likes the trophies.
Dude, it was original. I've been watching them sort of, kind of ish, since Beckham came or something. I don't know.
No Chivas?
No, thank you.
All right, so let's get into our best bets. Last weekend, I went 2-2 for a whopping 0.02 units plus on the MLS. AJ, how did you do?
So I think I missed last weekend. Yeah, but my only play in the Champions League was Bayern to advance, but they only won, didn't advance. So it is what it is. But Joey B, how do we do?
Last weekend I was 3-1, plus 2.25 units, up to 4, almost 5 on the season. I had Lazio Dortmund moneyline parlay, pretty easy. Bologna Spezia over 2.75. Cagliari Parma, both teams are scoring over 2.5, and then I lost to Leipzig halftime, full time. I will say I tweeted this out. It was 4 of the least sweaty bets of all time. Even the Leipzig one I lost at halftime wasn't too bad. Bologna Spezia got 3 goals in the first half. Cagliari Parma, I keep calling them Parma cash in the first half, and then Lazio Dortmund, I think each won 4-2. So pretty easy all the way around. But I do kind of like the intense sweatiness of some bets every now and then.
So plus money Rex MLS made out big last time because, yes, even though Nashville should have won that one, the Timbers kind of laid an egg. If I didn't get the plus money, would have lost that juice. So looked at that in hindsight, definitely took that into account this weekend because all the plays but one looked to be plus money. So I got a 6-pack coming at you. Where do we want to start? We'll start with the ones that one of them that we talked about. I'm taking the West Ham plus 0.5 at plus 114. If you're really going to give, we've talked about this previously, but if you're really going to give me at them to draw this match and still win at plus money, I mean, I believe that they can honestly win this one outright coming up. So that's just kind of where there's no reason not to with this one. It seems it's the fade. It's strong. I wanted to try to do it across the board. Yes, and Tuchel, I mean, this could be 0-0, and I'll be more than happy. It'll be the most boring game to watch, but I'm going to be fading the Champions League teams coming up and the Europa League teams coming up. So that's where my strategy between my bets is. So take that into account if you want, but that plus 363 seems like a nice price, but I got a different underdog of the week.
So would you consider this West Ham line like a little bit ratty or something like that? Because we're all in agreement of West Ham.
Chelsea's been pulling out results regardless. And yes, some of them have been a draw. More often than not, they're getting out the wins. So that's kind of where why I'm taking the half goal, just because Chelsea, I could see them tying this up late or just playing a completely boring 0-0. Just get out there and get through it.
Perfect. So continuing on that, I also have a play on that match. So Rex talked about 0-0. I hope it's not 0-0. I have Chelsea West Ham over 2.5 sits even on Bovada. I think the more we all talked about it, the more we think West Ham get a result. So West Ham get on the board, Chelsea get on board. I'll just need someone to get that third to send this one over.
If this one's going over, I kind of like the West Ham side a little bit more. I know that does sound a little bit strange to say with all of the attacks that Chelsea bought, but really hasn't shown up. So that's kind of where Chelsea's been relying on their defense when the games have been getting higher score in total. West Brom, look what happens there. So that's kind of where I'll take it, even though, West Ham has 3 more goals than Chelsea has this season. So that's what I was just trying to confirm. So over game, let's go, AJ. That's a great way to cash it. So I hope it's not 0-0 anymore.
I took Rex's analysis and AJ's leans, and I'll add the Chelsea West Ham both teams to score minus 105. We'll each have a bet on this game. Chelsea's probably going to win now 1-0, I would imagine. Who knows? I think we all have a good lean on this. I mean, it would be funny if Chelsea wins like 2-0 or 4-0. At least AJ would win this bet, but it's just like the most obvious.
Why do you care about AJ now?
I'm not saying I want him to win. I'm just saying he could be. But yeah, I think both teams to score. These guys are tied in the table on 55 points for 4th and 5th. My only fear for AJ is if this game gets to be 1-1, they may kind of set up shop and kind of lock up. Kind of both teams afraid to drop all points to the other one. But West Ham have the most to gain here. I would love to see them take over Chelsea for that 4th spot.
All right, so we all rattled off a bet. I guess I got to go again since I'm leading with the most. All right, let's get into my lean. AJ, or not AJ, you don't like La Liga that much. Maybe we should hit up Robbie B for this one. Do I do Betis +1 at +110? That's the one that I've been thinking just because if I'm fading the Champions League teams, this is where I got to go. But I don't watch it enough to be confident in it.
Joey B?
Yeah, I've been off my La Liga game a little bit the last couple of weeks. Really at the worst time because of how good the title race is. But yeah, Betis, I mean, they they've have one loss, and it looks like their last 10, and that's to Sevilla, so pretty strong side. But
that's +1 at +110. Speaking my language.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a decent angle. I mean, Real Madrid drew Getafe. They have a game coming up in the Champions League, so who knows? The only thing that scares me is they're going to be a motivated side for the title race. A draw here definitely doesn't help, but
it's your 1-0 Madrid mentality, though.
Yeah, +1. I don't think Madrid will win by a ton. I think I don't know how juiced the +1.5 is, but could be a good parlay piece maybe.
All right, I'll rattle through my 3 MLS bets, or not rattle through all of them, but let's kick it off. So, we're backing the team that lost 4-0 last weekend on opening weekend in Seattle. If you know my betting strategy, that is the gold mine because, yes, I'm laying the -0.75 with Minnesota, but I'm getting that +112. You can take their money line. It's just my strategy of having everything being plus money. And this Minnesota team started off a little slow last year. They just got the worst draw possible other than traveling to LAFC is traveling to Seattle. So now they're going up against an RSL team, and you guys knew I was super high on them this year. There's not full tank mode in MLS, but they're slowly getting to the mode because I see no ways where this attack is going. Minnesota win to 0 might be a better bet, but Minnesota let up 4 last weekend, so you got some big cojones if you're going to do that. So that's just where I think at worst I see this me getting a half win, but I think Minnesota might take out some of that 4-0 revenge this weekend. Reynoso is their big transfer, and boy, oh boy, he is a fun guy to watch if you want to do. Definitely make sure you have him on his fantasy team, FYI.
Yeah, I think a good angle to just kind of fade the result of last weekend. I think it works in the NFL, I think, overreaction.
And Monday. RSL didn't play last week either. So every week, one MLS team will have a bye. So this is RSL's opening game.
Then they're a little bit out of form, probably not too warmed up. Maybe they lose 4-0 this week. I hope they lose 4-0 this week.
All right, I'll give out one more real quick to try to get more caught up to you guys. Here, the Rapids, we're laying the -0.75 again because we did it the first week. Austin, they have 9 straight road games. This price of fading them is going to start increasing more because it came through in stoppage against LAFC. And once again, if they don't sub off Vela like idiots accidentally, this one probably comes through with ease. But the Rapids at home, you got Austin traveling to Colorado for their second game, still trying to figure it out. If you like Arsenal, this might be your team you want to watch because, sure, they do have some promise, but they love to play through the back big time. So they're prone for a goalie mistake soon. They definitely played LFC tough, a lot better than I expected. But if I can get the Rapids at even to win, to get a half win if they win by 1 goal, we're going to back the Rapids here, who drew against Dallas last weekend.
Are you going to cap the altitude, or is that in your play at all?
Nope. No, just the home field. I mean, in MLS, home field is just a proven fact where if you just take the home team every game, it's going to win more often than not, and it's fade Sassuolo of the MLS because their jerseys are identical.
Perfect. Joey B, any thoughts on that pick?
No, just again, contrarian to the overreaction. I think, a lot of people are going to see, Austin FC played LAFC tough, best team in the MLS. I don't know if they're the best team in the MLS, but top 3, top 5 team in the MLS. But yeah, I think another overreaction here. You just take advantage of.
Perfect. How many more plays do you have, Joey?
I have 2 more.
Okay, I have 1 more. So if you want to go ahead and give 1 more out.
Okay, so sticking on the trend, back to Europe, sticking on the trend of fading teams who are playing in Champions League or Europa League coming up. I'm taking Cagliari, draw no bet, -105. First off, they're on the island. They're the home team. I'm not sure how far Roma is to the island, but it looks like they have a bit of a way to go. But either way, Roma's got Man U coming up. I think that's definitely their focus right now. If they want to get to the Champions League, they got to do it through Europa. They're a little too far out of a top 4 spot or top 3 spot in Italy. So I just think their priorities are going to lay in that midweek match against Man U. They play Cagliari, who are tough, and I will mention I've been flipping back between. I believe they won in the midweek and have seen a little bit of light. They're only 3 points behind Benevento and Torino. So a win here would be huge against Roma, and even just a point would be huge. So I'll take the Drono bet minus 105. I don't think they get beat. Roma's going to be tired. They played Atalanta today.
Correct.
I think so. Yeah.
Correct.
So a lot of games for them coming up. They're going to have some tired legs. I think Cagliari is going to take advantage of that and maybe pull up the upset, but worst case, we get our money back.
And I'm officially tailing that one just because it played right into the angle, and especially because Roma is traveling to Manchester as well. So this is not the leg that Roma's hosting. Just a brutal stretch for them. Cagliari just seems like the most sandwich spot is all, and it's the exact same reasoning for West Ham and the play coming up. So got to ride it. Just throw all the dice in with this angle. So let's roll.
How many more plays do you have, Rex? I only have one more, so I'm okay waiting.
I got 2 more. So one more MLS play. We're going back to the Galaxy. Well, I hyped them up a lot last weekend. Ended up coming through big. Chicharito, he's back. AJ, I don't know how you feel about him being back, but he sure did show up last weekend. And I did advise to Joey B post chat that it seemed like the Red Bulls could be a sneaky home team play in the first weekend, but I also told him to fade them anytime Aaron Long is playing or not playing. So that's where, SKC had their 4th string goalie starting. That's where I was just kind of like, you have to fade that angle. But they just look pretty putrid against the SKC team that I'm not super high on. So you're going to give me the Galaxy at home at plus 125 money line. It's sitting kind of right around where the Red Bulls was last weekend. So it could be a little trappy here, but Galaxy at home against a Red Bull team, I'm not sold on whatsoever. They have a lot of issues. So that's where just got to take the Galaxy.
Go Galaxy.
Let's go LA.
Yeah, my final play, and I do stick in the EPL only. It's going to be Newcastle, Liverpool under 3, sits at minus 110. I just think this is a good Liverpool, just 1-0, 2-0. Liverpool need all the points they need to get into the Champions League again next season. I think if this was a year ago, I'd be afraid to take a Liverpool under, but in 2021, I'm no longer afraid of Liverpool unders. So,
wow, that's a big step.
I know. Hopefully,
yeah, that's kind of where with Castle, sometimes it rains when it pours.
Yeah.
I think if you get through the first 15 minutes of the game without a goal, you may see like 1 or 2. But if there's a goal in that early time, this game may open up quick. But I like the under 3. I think it's a good number and a tired Liverpool side who may look to get a goal or 2 and just set up and play some defense.
Yeah, I do think it lies on if Newcastle scores. If Newcastle scores, this could be 3-1, 4-1, in which I'm really sad. But if Liverpool hold a clean sheet, 2-0, 3-0 for a push max.
All right, Joey B, last play before we get for the dog of the weekend.
Last play, taking Spezia, Genoa, over 2.5, minus 107. Taking another Spezia over, another Spezia away over. I mentioned it last week. I may tail this trend too many times in a row. But they are 14-2 to the over 2.5 this season in away games for Spezia. They average 3.4 goals a game, giving up 34 goals over 14 games. So plenty of goals they give up. Genoa has been a little tighter on defense, so maybe I'll need Genoa to put up 3 here. But I could see this game being 2-1, 3-0 to Genoa. Either way, I think it's a game. Both teams are kind of outside of the relegation zone at the moment, so maybe they'll be too scared to go up against each other. But I just think we get 3 goals here. I'm not sure who wins, but yeah, I just think it's a minus 107. So for the 2.5, I'll take that in Italy any day.
Yeah, I definitely like that price there at minus 107 to take a Spezia over, especially after the trend you gave off. I mean, it's been a whole season for that trend to buck. It hasn't yet, so got to do it at that point. All right, dog of the weekend. Sadly, it is not in the championship. MLS is back, so it's taking my attention away from it. But we're going to the action tomorrow. I took the Asian handicap in the two prior ones, fading the team playing in UEFA. So if you want to play it safer, that's your way to go. But at plus 279, that's where I locked in Everton money line at. I mean, this is basically the game where it could be a little bit too much of a personal motivation that it just completely locks in their team total under, which is obviously a no sweat at this point. But Everton's fully healthy finally. That's why they've gone through this terrible terrible streak recently. And now it seems to be like, obviously they haven't played yet, but Everton affected them because Arsenal's going to have 0 people available. It could just be they're resting everyone for their Europa match, which might be the smart move at this point, but to try to get a trophy. So that's kind of where this is fishy. That is plus 279. I'm taking it hook, line, and sinker. And I think we honestly see a resounding Everton result here where this is a no sweat for the underdog. I'm usually not this confident in it, so maybe just lay Arsenal at this point, but I'm feeling way too good about the Toffees tomorrow. Let's go, Ancelotti. Don't make me look like an idiot.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say a fun little parlay, West Ham Everton moneyline parlay plus 1,600. Probably can find a better price on that. Maybe play it safer, take them both, draw no bet. But Rex is confident in 2 underdogs. Usually turns out pretty well, I'd say. So definitely a good angle, some fun money parlays for that.
Yeah, and since my Arsenal top 4 prediction is kind of out the window, I will be rooting for Everton tomorrow afternoon.
All right, so let's wrap up our best bets. Any signing words we can do off after it, but got a nice little 6-pack. Needed to get some Sunday action in there, so that's where tailing Joey B with the Caligari pick at minus 105 is a great way to do it. We got the underdog tomorrow. Everton money line at plus 279. Then we got a decent amount of Saturday action with West Ham plus 0.5 at plus 114, Minnesota minus 0.75 at plus 112, Rapids minus 0.75 even, Galaxy money line plus 125.
Yeah, I have 2 plays for you, both on Saturday. The early one, Newcastle, Liverpool under 3, and then along with the guys, West Ham, Chelsea over 2.5.
Yeah, I guess 3 plays for me. Started with 2, ended with 3. Taking Cagliari, draw no bet, minus 105. Spezia, Genoa, over 2.5, minus 107. Then we got Chelsea, West Ham, both teams to score, minus 105. Just a little bit of juice all around.
All right, and that's going to wrap us up for this week. We got I don't know if we'll go live just because for Monday's episode of the Champions League, if you guys really want it, definitely let us know because we're getting to the dwindling moment. It might be a quick hitter, so it might be good because it'll be quick in and out 15-minute stream since we only have to preview 2 matches. Maybe throw in the Europa to make Joey happy there. But make sure to be checking us out at the breakdownsports.com. They're just going to flub out. He shouldn't really get his hopes up. But you should check out the breakdownsports.com. We got you covered in all your sports. There's a fantasy baseball article going up. I mean, whatever you need, we got you there. You can follow us under our heads, except for AJ because he doesn't like to use his Twitter handle, but it's _VADUKUL. I got it, baby. We're hot.
Yeah, Rex spelled my last name right. California weather's a little drunk, so I'm getting pho tonight. And let's have a great weekend. It feels like 1,000 plays, but I guess the majority are from Rex. But that's a good thing. So
only 6. Not that many.
It's a good number.
Right. Yep, and we'll catch you later.